What's up YouTube, I'm back in the still standing garage, and in this video I'm going to be rebuilding the Edelbrock carburetor on my 83 Regal. This is a 231 3.8 V6. The carburetor that I have, it's a 500 CFM carburetor. It's 1404 is the actual part number for it. So let's get to it. Here are the parts I'll be using. This is the Edelbrock carburetor rebuild kit. That's the part number right there, 1477. I got this at AutoZone, so it was the last one they had actually. And then I am going to be upgrading my carburetor to an electric choke. That's the part number right there, 1478. Mine's manual, so we got to upgrade that. And then also I am going to add this PowerBlast plate. I'll talk about this one when I install it. And the reason I'm installing it in this video is because I am going to have the carburetor apart and off the car, which will make it easier. You could install that on the car, but you have to take the top off the carburetor. Oh, and this kit right here, I got it from Original Parts Group. And then the plate here, I did get it from their website. I'll put a link in the description of where I got each one of these things, so you guys can check that out if you guys are going to do the same thing. So first things first, start removing all the linkage. It's attached to the carburetor. Everything that's attached to it needs to come off. This one right here for the transmission. And then the spring for the return right here. Take that off, so that one's off. Disconnect the brake booster hose, which is back here. Take that off, set it off to the side. Remove all the vacuum hoses. Distributor right here. And the last thing to remove now, it's gonna be, or disconnect, is gonna be the fuel line right here. Gotta get a rag, make sure I don't spill all that fuel everywhere. Take off this clamp, try to point it up and set it up where it's pointing up, and then I can start unbolting the carburetor to remove it. Pull it off, catch any fuel if there is any, which there is. So it's only 4 of them, 2 in the front here, 2 in the back. It's a 1/2 inch socket or a 1/2 inch bolt. They shouldn't be that tight, and they're not. Grab the 1/2 inch wrench. Take this off real quick. They're not that tight, so just loosening them up, and then take them off by hand. I gotta clean off the heads off of these too. They're all busted. Not if I lose them all. Take this one off. 3 and 4. Got a couple of love taps. Yeah, it's not even under that bad. Come on, let go. There you go. Look how dirty that is. Real small manifold right there. But it's all good. Let's get this carburetor over to the bench. All right, let's start taking this bad boy apart. I'm gonna take off the gasket up here for the air cleaner. Then I'm gonna start taking off the top first. I'm gonna start taking off these screws here. It's 25 Torx. I did put a microfiber towel here so I can start organizing myself. I want to stay as organized as possible so that way I don't lose anything. So before I remove the top, I'm going to remove the linkage here, this here, and then the one in the back. It has a couple of clips, one clip here, and then same thing in the back over there. I'm going to take them off with some needle nose pliers. And then I am also going to remove the needles and springs that are in here, both sides. This is a 15 Torx bit. All right, let's take off the top. Got gas in there, of course. Put this upside down right here. Remove the spring here. So let me empty out this gas and I'll bring it back. Okay, with the gas all out, I'm gonna start removing pretty much the rest of it. So I'm gonna do these right here. These are actually 25 torques, and then this is 20. So I'm gonna start taking these off. Let's go. So when taking this one off, this is the squirter. My understanding is that there should be a ball in there, so I gotta be careful not to lose that. But I think the rebuild kit does come with another one, but I still don't want to lose that one. So like I said, this is a 20 Torx bit. None of this is tightened down real tight, so it's pretty much like snugged up. So let me take this off. So the gasket is on here. Let's take off the gaskets off of the primary and secondary. And these came off with the gasket already. Don't forget to take off the idle screws. So in order to take that little ball out, should have a spring or a little weight. It looks like this one has a weight inside of it. Let me take it off. Gotta flip it. Yeah, so see the little ball there, and then the little weight. Put these right here. Don't lose those, even though I'm sure that the rebuild kit has replacements, but still don't want to lose any of that. So now I have to take off these plates here. This one right here, and then this one right here. Wiggle them out a little bit. There we go. No damage. Done with the pliers, so pliers it is. Needle nose. Wiggle it around a little bit, and it's out. It's another reason why I'm recording this, so that way I know how everything goes back on there. So this goes on like that. It's real dirty. Really needs a rebuild, so good thing I did that. Oh yeah, I can't forget to take out the jets. They're inside of there. Let me take those out. Just remove the jets with the flathead screwdriver. Shouldn't be on there real tight either. Looked like I had to pop it off. Let me take off the other three. Alright, so now the bottom is completely taken apart. The linkage, I'm not going to take this apart. I think I cleaned that. Everything else is good. Now let's start working on the top part here. We got to take off the pins here for the floats. So let's see, let me move some things around here to make myself some more space on this towel. Let's take off this one. Put that one right there. This one right here. This gasket's falling apart. Now the top half is completely taken apart. Now this stays on there, and the rebuild kit comes with a new one of these. This little rubber piece here. So all I gotta do now is just clean all this up. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean the outside of the carburetor here, or the bottom half I should say. And I'll be using the carb cleaner here. I have my glasses on, so I'll wait just in case something sprays into my face, it doesn't get in my eyes. I'm gonna clean the outside. Spray a little bit everywhere. Everything's coming off pretty good. These areas right here seem kind of stubborn, so I'm gonna use my toothbrush on that, the old toothbrush. Comes off pretty easy. It's mostly dust that I have on this carburetor, or the whole engine bay, from the car just sitting. It's not really like greasy or anything. This engine actually has, I would say, around 15 to 20,000 miles, because I rebuilt it, drove it for a while, and then I parked it. I would say 15 to 20,000 miles after rebuilding it. It's not OG. And with the microfiber towel, I'm just gonna be wiping down all these little crevices and make sure I get everything, and keep spraying wherever I miss. But it seems like I got pretty much everything, so I'm just gonna keep cleaning it. So I already cleaned up the bottom of the carburetor, but I decided to start on these on the smaller pieces. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning these up. Do the same method. I'm gonna start spraying it, and as I spray it, if there's anything that's gunked up on there and it's very stubborn to take off, then I'm gonna hit it with the old toothbrush, and then just start spraying it. Start spraying it, and then with my microfiber towel, I'm gonna start wiping it off and see if there's anything that's stubborn on there, which it seems like everything's coming off pretty good. Don't have any stubborn areas. So I'm gonna continue to do that. So pretty much keep spraying on it. Spraying, hit the little holes, little hole here, and a little bit's gonna come up, turn it the other way, so pretty much like that. So it goes into the tray. So then just keep wiping it down, take off all that gunk, and it's coming off pretty easy, pretty good. Starting to look real nice. So I'm gonna do the same thing to all these other pieces, hit all the little holes, clean them up real nice, and then keep it moving from there. So I'll bring you guys back on as soon as that's done. And just like that, YouTube, it's all cleaned up, ready to go. There were a couple pieces that I didn't clean up because they already come in the rebuild kit. So all these other pieces got hit, even the screws, I cleaned those up. And the one pieces, or the couple pieces that I didn't clean, were these right here on both sides. I didn't clean those because those come new on the kit, the rebuild kit. And then this one, I didn't clean this one because this is for the manual choke, and like I said, I am upgrading to electric choke. And now let's get back to the bottom part of the carburetor. I'm gonna start hitting the inside. I'm gonna especially hit right here. I'm gonna leave a lot of that carburetor cleaner in there, let it soak up for a bit. So I'm just gonna spray it, let it sit in there for a while, and then I'm gonna start wiping it down. And whatever areas I can hit with the toothbrush, I'm gonna hit it with the toothbrush. Alright, so like these areas right here, I'm gonna start hitting it with the toothbrush, whatever I can. You can see that crack coming off, all up there. And then after I'm done hitting it with the toothbrush, then I'm gonna wipe it off. Hit all in there. Then it all should come off. Start wiping this off. Keep hitting the camera. Let me see if I can show you guys. So you kind of see the carburetor cleaner all in there. Not sure if you can see, it's not clear anymore. It's just taking off all the stuff off the walls there. So I'm gonna go in there with the microfiber towel. See what I pick up and clean up as much as I can. So this is pretty much what I'm gonna be doing. Is just going in there, spraying, wiping off over and over until I feel it's clean enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'll show you guys when it's done. So here's something I want to show you. I'm almost done cleaning it, wiping it down like I just talked about. But one thing that I did is I noticed there was a lot of little pieces of stuff inside of the carburetor there. So I was turning it on its side here and just spraying it and letting it all out. That's why you see all this crap everywhere. It was coming out. So I pretty much hit it like this. Take off all the residue that I brushed off or that I tried to scrape off a little bit with a screwdriver. Hit it all in there. Then I did hit every single little hole. It didn't matter what the hole was for, but I did hit every hole. Like this hole too, I hit it too. That's for the air cleaner to tie down, but I don't care, I hit it. And then I did clean off the blades in there. So after dumping it out, because I already did it, so I just wanted to demonstrate. I wanted to show you guys what I did. And then same thing, clean off all the blades, all the black stuff that was in there. Obviously there's still a little bit more. I have to wipe it down more. Then I opened them all up and cleaned all the bores in there. Clean everything up. Starting to look real clean. So let me finish it up. I just wanted to show you guys that real quick. Let me finish off cleaning it up and then we'll get to the top. Alright, now it's time to start hitting the top. This one's not that bad other than the blade. As you can see, the blade looks dark. And then the outside. The outside looks pretty busted. Like I said, this car sat for a very long time, which is why I'm rebuilding it. But yeah, so I'm just gonna clean it up, start spraying it. So I'm gonna do the outside first, just in case any of that gunk tries to get on the inside after I clean the inside. You know, it's better. So let me hit the outside. Make this look brand new. Look at that, the difference. Starting to look like a brand new carburetor. Better start acting like one too. And there it is, all cleaned up. Looks real nice, looks brand new. Ready to go. Clean all the inside in here too. Look at that. Looks nice and clean. I mean, this side, like I said, it wasn't that bad, but the outside was the one that had the majority of the gunk on it from the years. And then I did hit, like I said, I keep hitting every single hole just to make sure that everything's cleaned out. Wiped it all down. Let's move on. All right, so it's time to start putting it back together. Let's open up the rebuild kit. I'm gonna start off with the top first. So this box comes sealed. My understanding is if it's not sealed, you should return it back to wherever you got it from. So mine is sealed, so let's open it up. See what we got in here. See, it even says it right there. It says breaking the seal prohibits the return and or crediting of this carburetor kit. So I'm gonna break the seal, the blade. Put this off to the side. So I'm gonna be putting on this gasket first. Let's put this bad boy on. It's a little bent from the shipping. So that's on there. Now it's time to put these on. I don't even know what they're called, but we're gonna put them on, one on each side. These are the ones that I said that I didn't clean because they were gonna be replaced. I showed you guys that earlier. Let's see. So this was brand new. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the screen inside of that hole here. Pop it in there. Turn it. Now that that's on there, put on the little washer. you're gonna have to screw it on because it doesn't really go all the way in there by itself. You have to screw it on. Boom. Now let's put it on. I'm gonna put this one on this one. This one right here. Flathead screwdriver. Tighten that down. Doesn't necessarily have to be super tight. Just snug it up. So, then this piece here, that point goes down. Pop that in there like so. And then time to do the other side. Point down. Boom. Ready to go. Now time for the float. Put this float in there. There's a way you could check how these are good or bad. You dip it in water or carburetor cleaner and you shake it. If there's water inside of here, it's no good. So these were good. I checked them. So this goes with this little tab down. Pop that in. Get the pin. Pop this pin in there. Do the other side. Same thing. Pop the pin. Come on. There it is. Now it's time to check the distance between the bottom of the float, the top of the gasket, both sides. Yeah, I could already tell that this one's already lower, this one's a little higher. Alright, and the distance between the float and the top of the gasket here is supposed to be 7/16. You're supposed to use a drill bit, but I'm going to use a transfer punch, because that's all I have right now. So I'll be using that. All you have to do is run the bit under it, but you see how this one, it was already low, I could already tell. So I need to adjust this. In order to adjust it, I'm going to remove the pin, take it off, and you have to bend it from here and go up. So I'm going to bend it from here and go up. And what I'm going to use is going to be some pliers, some needle nose pliers. Just hold it from there. So I can get a good grip on them. And then just bring that up. Pop it in. And check it and make sure that it moves something. Check it again. Need to go a little bit more. They say not to squeeze too much on the float here, you don't want to damage it. So it's good to go a little bit at a time. Went too far. And after a couple of tries, I'm happy with this right here. So now I'm going to do this other side here. All right, now that the floats are adjusted this way, now we need to adjust them the other way. So how far they come down. So the way you do that is you hold it upright like so. You measure from the top here, top of the gasket, or bottom of the gasket I should say, and then the top of the float. It's supposed to be at 15/16. This one looks like it's about 1 1/4. You can see that right there. So I need to adjust it to bring it up to 15/16. So gotta get all the way up to right there, 15/16. Right now it's like around right here, 1 1/4. So I'm going to adjust this one first. And in order to adjust that one, it's this tab right here. This tab right here. And same thing with this one. I'm gonna use needle nose pliers here. And I'm just gonna bend this. I'm gonna hold the back here. Focus. Bring it down just a little bit. Pop it back in. Check it again. Gotta hold the gasket and everything. Oh dang, almost first try. Is that good? Let me see. It's about, no, it's about 13/16. So I need to go 15/16. So I need to bring it up, bring it back out a little bit more. Let me see, is it good? Let's push it. It's real close. So let me mess with that some more. Double check. And I'm happy with that. I mean, in comparison, look at that. Look how far open this one is compared to this one. And it's always been like that. That's crazy. Been driving the car like this the whole time. This one's more than 1 1/4. This one's about 1 1/2 almost. 1 3/8. It's real bad. So I gotta adjust this one. Let me do that. Alright, both of them are adjusted. I did double check. Once I put it back together, double check that these were still good because I was bending those tabs in the back there. So now the last thing to do is to replace this little rubber piece here on the top part of the carburetor. Just gotta take this off. The kit comes with a brand new one. In comparison, it looks about the same. I've seen other people that get a blue one and it's supposed to be updated. I don't know if I got an old kit or what's going on here. So pop that in and the top is ready to go. All right, now it's time to put the bottom part together. So I got all the gaskets here. This little bag comes with everything you need. Pop it in there. Put all these over here, make sure I don't lose anything. So the first thing I'm gonna put on this carburetor is gonna be these pieces right here. They call these the Venturis, I think is what it's called. So gotta make sure that it's the right gasket. Doesn't fit that way, so I'm gonna try it this way. And all these holes match. Let's pop it in there. Notice that the gasket's a little bit bigger than the actual hole. Pop that in there. Grab my screws. So now these screws here, the ones that go onto all these 4 pieces here, they're longer. So the ones that go on the cap to the bottom, you see they're shorter. So there's no mixing them up. Let me see if I can hold them right here. You see that? So these are for the outside. These are for the inside, the big ones. That's why it's good to stay organized. When you take it apart, it really helps. Pop it in there. Tighten this up. You don't have to be super tight. Just nice and snug. We're good. All right, now that both of them are on, start working on the back. Got to put on this piece first. This one goes with these little notches to the back. Pops in there. Test for functionality. It's working good. All right, now start putting on the pieces here. The Venturis that they call. Put this piece right here. Gasket. This one's for this side. That goes in there. Now that they're both tight, make sure nothing's binding. We're good. Now let's put on the primary jets. Drop it in there. It's kind of difficult to get it in there, but get it in there. Tighten this up just a little bit, snug too, doesn't need to be all tight. And do the secondary, same thing, pop it in. One thing that I saw on YouTube too, a guy said that it's better to go reverse and then go forward just to make sure that the threads catch on really good, which is a good tip. Pop it in there, it's good. Do the other side. So now the primary jets are on. I mean the primary and secondary jets are on now. Time to put this on. So this one goes to this side. There's a couple of notches in here that it goes on. You gotta pop them in there. Make sure they sit all the way, which they are. A couple love taps, make sure it goes in there. Now it's time for the squirter ball and weight. The kit does come with the brand new set, the ball and the weight. So first things first, pop in the ball in here. So let me pop it in there. It goes in there, and then the weight, and then the squirter with the gasket. Put on the gasket like so. Pop it in there. Get my two small screws. These are the only two small screws. After you take everything off, it's what you have left. Small screws. These go to here. But before I tighten them up, let me show you what I'm gonna do. This is where my PowerBlast plate comes into play. So now this is gonna help with how the fuel is delivered. So when you press on the gas, this is the squirter. Obviously gas comes out of there into the primaries, but this is gonna help to make sure it sprays out on each side. I'll put a picture of an illustration on the screen so you guys can check that out. I'm gonna pop it in, and I'm gonna show you how this goes on there. So I'm doing this right now because I have the carburetor part already, or at least the top. This just goes on top like this. And that's it. Real simple installation if you're only doing that to your carburetor, your Performer carburetor. So it's pretty cool. We're gonna try that out. So it looks like the whole inside is done already, ready to go. Next thing up is gonna be my idle screws. So this one goes in here. You have to inspect them to make sure that there's no scarring, or what do they call it, scribing on the actual pin here. This one's in good shape. I checked both of them. I've never over tightened these before, so it should be alright. So this goes right here. So the way I'm gonna set it up, I am gonna have to tune the carburetor obviously when I put it back on. So I'm gonna put this on, tighten it, snug it up I should say. Once it bottoms out, I'm gonna bring it out. I'm gonna bring it out 2 turns, and then I'm gonna start off from there. So half, 1 and a half, and 2. So I'm gonna leave it right there. Now time to put the top on. Let's go. So the kit comes with the spring that goes in here. Pop that in there, and then we can start from the bottom. I mean from the back side down. This is supposed to pop in there like so. One thing they say is that this is supposed to pop in. You're not supposed to force anything. If it doesn't pop in, then that means there's something wrong. So this one looks like it went in there. Everything looks pretty good. Let's check the functionality. We're good. Okay, start popping in the screws. Start tightening these down. So it's time to put these pieces on. Got to put them together and then pop them in. The kit does come with the new spring for each side. The way that these go on is just pop in like that. You have to hold it down. Hold it down, and then from the back side you pop in the pin. And there it is. It's in there. So this one is for this side over here. Gotta grab my spring that goes under it. Goes in there like that. Gotta open it up like so, like that. And this goes like this. There. Make sure it works. Goes in and out. We're good. Snug that up. Not too tight. Do the other side. All right, now it's time to put the linkage here. So this one right here, with the one without the notch, goes in the back here. And this one goes right here. I'm gonna put it in the middle. I'm gonna have to tune it up when I obviously put it on the car. The kit does come with a whole bunch of the little clips, so we gotta figure out which one's which. So I'm gonna try one in there, see if this one, if it will work. This one's too big. I'm gonna get a baby one. So I'm gonna get a little baby one. Pop it in there. And here we go. Test it out for functionality. And we're good. Now, I'm not gonna put on the linkage in the back here because this is where I'm gonna be upgrading to a electric choke. So let me get started on that. All right, so time for the electric choke. I already took out the package. Everything's laid out. So the first things first is I'm going to remove the screw that's here and back here, pull out the shaft, and then put the new one in. So this screw here is a 3/16. Take that off. Make sure it doesn't fall in there. That will suck. Take this off, put it off to the side, like so. Then take off this one right here. Use my little nut driver here. Take that off. Put this off to the side. This is supposed to come off. Put that to the side. And then this should just slide out. Take this one out. Put that to the side. Turn this bad boy this way. And this one's gonna be with this piece on there like so. Slides in where the other one was. Pop it in through there. Now with that shaft in there, turn it this way so you guys can see it a little bit better. Takes the washer. Little piece right here. Let me see. And then the little screw. So I was told that these screws are one-time use. Screw that in there. So I'm gonna put on the linkage on this side, so that way I'm able to tighten up that screw that's over there on the other side. It's gonna help hold the lever in place. Pop this in. Then the little clip comes with the electric choke kit, and it also comes with the rebuild kit. So I have a few of them just in case I lose one, because these are real easy to lose. They're real small. Pop that in there. So now we're good. Now we can start tightening this bad boy up right here. Now see, it makes it easier to tighten up now. All right, now that the shaft is on, we gotta put the little linkage back on here. Pop this one in there. That little piece right there, let's see. Like so. So that one's on there. Pop this one in here in the same manner. Actually, it goes like this. Like that. And then this one goes in there. Put the new screw in. Put this one in there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Pop it in there. Okay, now that one's on there. Nothing binds up. All right, let's move on. And now it's time to move on to the body of the actual choke, electric choke. So we got to remove this brass plug that's here. It's supposed to come off pretty easy. Some needle nose pliers. Looks like it's coming off. Come on, Lego. All right, so that's off. That's what that plug looks like. Blow some compressed air through there. Make sure it's not blocked off. And now grab the body of the electric choke. Put the linkage on it. The provided linkage. Yeah, this one goes like this. Goes like that. Comes with a gasket, a little O-ring. Goes in the back of the body here. Gotta press it in, make sure it doesn't fall off and lose it. There it is. All right, I'm holding the back side of the body here, so that O-ring doesn't fall off. Pop it in, put it in there. The O-ring's already touching the body there. Gotta get those holes in there. Line up the holes. And then the kit comes with self-tapping screws. Pop those in there too. Now these are going to be torque bit 20. Get one going. Pop the other ones in there. Let's check on that O-ring. Is still in there. It's supposed to be in right here. The O-ring between the body of the electric choke. You can see it there. You see it? So it's in there pretty good. I'm gonna keep it like this so I can tighten these up and make sure that doesn't fall off or I move it. So those are on there pretty tight. Ready to move on. So now let's put the linkage here. And so like that. And then grab one of those clips. Grab one of those clips. The little tiny ones. Pop it in. Make sure I don't lose it. there it is. It's on there. Now we put on this plate. Pop that open. The dimple goes into this hole here. There it is. Pop the little gasket in there. The rebuild kit comes with a new gasket like that too, but yeah, since I didn't have an electric choke already, didn't have to replace it. So this electric choke, the little winder here, just needs to catch the little pin here. So pop it in there. There it goes. I feel the resistance, so it should be pretty good. Put these bad boys on. Gotta hold it on there. Make sure it doesn't fall. Put the other two. Put this last one on there. So tighten this down. Nice and snug. Now the ground actually goes onto the body of the electric choke. Pretty much on one of the screws that I just put on there, just tightened up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on there. This is the ground. Pop this one in. So I'm going to put this one on this one here, on the top one here. So I'm going to take this one off. Pop it in here. And pop it back in. I think once it's in the car, I'm going to look to see what it looks like. I don't like this wire just hanging in there like that. Got to see how I'm going to dress this up. Put it off to the side. So we'll see. Alright YouTube, and there it is. Carburetor is bolted back on the car. It looks brand new. It looks real nice. I like the way that it turned out. I did hook everything back up. I did set my electric choke here 1 notch beyond the halfway point. I'm going to try that out when I start it right now. And then another thing is the power wire here. I'll show you guys how I hooked that up. So what I ended up doing is I went and bought some 16 gauge power wire. Hooked it up to this wire here, but connected it and ran it through the old engine harness. I did replace that wire loom. That's why it looks new. I replaced that and ran it over there. Let me get on that side. But first, look at all the mess that I removed from the old harness. It looks all busted. Needed replacing. Right, now on this side, I did end up removing the windshield wiper motor here to give me better access to the wiring, because I am going through all the wiring, even the lighting here, so that doesn't matter in this video. So here's the wire. I ran it through there, and that's that red wire going through the hole. And then I went to the fuse block over here. Let me show you. Hopefully I can give you guys a really good view of this, so you guys get an idea. So here's my, let me back up a little bit. So here's under the dash. Already have my light right there. All right, down here. So this is a wire right here. Let me see if I can give you guys a good view. Where's my finger? Right there. So I did put an inline fuse, which is why the wire is black now. It came in red through the firewall, but then I hooked this up with a 20 amp fuse here. And then see here, this is the ignition. There was a slot that was open for ignition, and I just hooked it up with the male. Let me unplug it. See a male connector there, and I put it in that slot, as you can see there. Let me see if I can get a little closer for you guys. So that slot right here says IGN, which is ignition. It's only powered on when the key is on, which is what I want for my electric choke. So I popped it in there. So it's all hooked up, but I am going through all my wiring down here because I don't like the way all this is looking, but that's not important in this video. Right now it's about this carb. All right, it's time to start it up. I want to see what that choke does. I want to see if it even starts. See how the rebuild went. I am going to take a couple of tries to start it because there isn't any fuel in the lines there. So it's all good. I am going to set up the camera so we can see what the choke does, how it opens up, see if it works properly. That's if it turns on. I do want to tune the carb when it's idling. I did set these at 2 turns out from closed, but I want to warm up the car, pull it out, and turn it around so that way the exhaust is actually facing outside and I'm not in here with all these fumes. So hopefully it warms up correctly and the choke works how it's supposed to. Let's check it out. Let's go. does look like I need to adjust the idling screw so to idle a little bit faster, or a little bit higher, I should say. So the choke is working out it's supposed to. It opened up all the way. Alright YouTube, I turned the car around, but I had to take care of something else, so it's currently the next day, so we are going to get a cold start. It's 59 degrees and it's raining, so it's definitely going to be a cold start. I am going to open the garage door to about right there, and I'm going to push the car out so the exhaust is on the outside. Alright, so I did end up adjusting the fast idle screw, which is this one right here. I ended up opening it up a little bit more so that way it will idle a little bit faster on the first startup. And as you can tell, I haven't pulled the throttle yet, so it hasn't activated the choke. So by pulling the throttle this way, it actually brings this little piece here down, and it'll get stuck on that fast idle screw there, and that's what allows the choke to close because it is cold. If I pull it from this way, pay attention to this here and the choke, it's gonna close. You see that? So that's when you first push the throttle or the pedal inside the car. Do it like once or twice, and see how it got stuck right there, and then the choke closed. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it up. It does look like I need to adjust the fast idle screw a little bit more, push it in a little bit more. Alright, it's all warmed up. I'm gonna hit the throttle. That's one thing that I like about this, is that before I used to have to stay in the car to warm it up, and this whole time I've been out of the car, so that's a plus. So watch this right here. The fast idle screw, once I hit the throttle, it's gonna drop, and then it's gonna calm down. Hopefully it doesn't turn off because I still haven't messed with the idle screws. Doesn't sound bad at all. So now to mess with the idle screws, I am going to use a vacuum gauge here, and I'm going to be looking at the readings on this side, which is for vacuum 0 to 30. And then I'm gonna try to get the highest vacuum. It should be around this range, 15 to 20. So where I'm gonna hook it up is gonna be where that little plug is. I don't want to put my hand in the fan. Right there, I'm gonna take that off, and I'm gonna hook up the end of the vacuum here to that. And then we're gonna start messing with the idle screws until we get the highest rating, or the highest vacuum, I should say. And as I'm moving each one, remember each one of them is set at 2 turns out from closed. As I move that and get the highest vacuum, I am going to be messing with the fast idle there on this side here, not on the choke, but on this one right here where I'm pointing. So I'm going to have to turn that up, or down. So we'll see. Let's get to it. So I am going to start off on the driver's side. As you can see right now, it's right below 10. So I am going to open it up in half increments. So right now they're at 2, so I am going to go 2.5. See how the idle changed a bit? That's 3. 3.5. Keeps going up, so we got to keep bringing it out. 4.5. 5.5. Until it stops changing, that's when I'm gonna stop. So that's the highest I got to. Let me do the passenger side. I am gonna bring the idle up a little bit. Pretty much messing with it back and forth until you get the right amount of vacuum, or the highest amount of vacuum I should say. Alright, so after some adjusting, this is the highest vacuum I could get, and it sounds pretty good. I did end up hooking up my timing gun here that has a tack, and the numbers you're seeing right there is the RPMs right now, so I wanted just below 1,000. And then I did check the timing just to make sure that it was good. Right now it's at 15 degrees before top dead center, which is what's supposed to be on this little motor here. So everything's running pretty good so far. So that's pretty much how you set the idle mix and screws. Sounds pretty good too. Sounds pretty solid. And then one thing was that before, when I would step on the gas or pull the throttle, it will bog down first and then it will come back. It almost acted like it was gonna die on me. So right now, check this out. Real quick response. So that rebuild kit and that PowerBlast Plate, let me see if I can show you guys what it does. See that fuel, how it's shooting in there. So it's been a couple of weeks since I put the carburetor back on. I have been turning it on and driving it, and it's driving a lot better than what it was before, but it still hesitates a bit. It also takes a while for it to turn on a cold start. I'm thinking that the fuel pump needs to be replaced. I don't remember the last time I replaced this fuel pump, so I do want to replace that. Another thing I want to do is I do want to upgrade my line going to the carburetor, and also I want to add a regulator, a pressure regulator, and a pressure gauge so I know how much I'm actually putting into the carburetor. I believe this carburetor, I still have to look it up, but I believe this carburetor is supposed to take about 6 psi, so that's what I want to give it. And like I said, right now I don't know what pressure I'm putting to it, so I'll show you right now. I'll do a cold start and I will end the video with this cold start, and I will show you how long it takes for it to start. Once it starts and it warms up and I kick it down, it's idling real nice, and like I said, it runs a lot better. Let's go. Alright, let's jump in here and give you guys a better view here. There it is. I'm gonna pump it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. See, then it dies, and then let me see. 1, 2. Try that again. Nothing. 1, 2. Another one. I don't want to step on the gas to keep it going. I want the fast idle screw to keep it on. There it goes. You see how it's dying? So that's why I think the fuel pump, something's wrong with the fuel pump. I do need to replace it. Pump it one more time. Starts dying again, you hear it? But that fast idle screw is keeping it on. So I'm gonna let it warm up and then we'll kick it down in a little bit. Alright, it's been a couple of minutes. Let's kick it down, see how it reacts. Nice and calm. Real nice. Like I said, I like the way it idles. Everything's running real good, but I think that fuel pump needs to be replaced. I'm gonna get a better one. Let's go.